There's Carl.
What's up?
Flip it around. See, Periscope always wants to start with whatever you're looking at. And hey, how's everybody doing? It is 4:03, so we had a little Wi-Fi mishap. But I'm here with Carl Sorget at First Assembly of Greater Lansing in Lansing, Michigan, East Lansing, Michigan, to be specific. So today I've got 5 things. These are just strategies. Carl's familiar with them because he is in one of the coaching groups that I've been in, and you might be familiar with some of these as well. And these are just 5 things that we really think are going to help you. So once a week, I like to get on here and give people some helpful tips. Right now, I think a lot of people are doing events. At least if you're not, you should be. It's back to school. By the way, I should backtrack just a little bit. My name is Josh Wellborn, Student Ministries Director for the Michigan District of the Assemblies of God. I have a hard time explaining what that means to people who don't know, but basically my job is to provide resources, encouragement, fellowship, and some event planning for all of the youth and children's ministries in the Assemblies of God for Michigan. That's a religious is a horrible word. It's a fellowship of churches who are in a cooperative fellowship that as Jason Persinger just joined in. So that's what I do. That's why we're doing this. And just to be a resource, whether you're a pastor, whether you're a business owner, whether you've got a team. Thanks for LOLing, Jason, watching me squirm. And who else we got on here? Dark on TV. Robert just joined us. Thanks for coming in. Just want to say hello to some people before we move forward. And Carl, how long have you been in Lansing? East Lansing.
3 years this week. The 9th was our first Sunday 3 years ago. So we've been rocking the youth thing here. And
very good.
I'm loving it.
Well, he and I connected as soon as he moved to Lansing. For those who don't know my background, I've been serving in Lansing at a church called Mount Hope Church for the last 6 years. Basement marketing seminar. Yeah, basically. It's a basement marketing seminar. Does it look like we're in a basement? We're not really in a basement. This is Carl's office. I'll give you a quick tour. Quick tour around.
Not much to see.
We're not in a basement though. We've got a nice view. Well,
Nice view of the expressway. That's
yeah. So dreamy. Yeah, we're dreamy, all right. Carl's got tattoos.
Got a couple.
That means he's real. That means you can trust him.
Yeah.
It's true.
Street cred, right?
Street cred, yeah, honesty. So let's get right into these. I really learned a lot from last week. Last week we did one of these. I just had some random notes on marketing, and I wasn't real happy with the results. So this week, tried to simplify, and again, just 5 things today. What I really want is if you're a pastor, a leader, a youth pastor, a children's pastor, then I really want you to message in. It's a session. It is it's a forum, but I really encourage talking the whole time. You're getting compliments on your dimples there, Carl. I don't know if you can read that or not.
I've seen something.
I'm going to scoot the little device back here a little bit. Now, see what's going to happen is we're going to get a wider shot so people can see us better, but we're not going to be able to read as well.
Okay. Well,
you don't wear glasses, do you?
Contacts.
You do? Do you have them in?
Yep.
Okay, so you can read that. Okay.
We're ready.
All right, I can read it. Okay. Ooh, yeah, perfect. This is a really good one. Matt Wilkie leads missions teams. He's with Convoy of Hope. Travels all over the world. How many countries have you been to, Matt? I bet it's a lot. He was just in Haiti the other day.
Nice.
Anyway, yes, yeah, a lot. I'm surprised you don't keep track. Matt was in my dream last night. I know that sounds weird. It might even sound creepy. I've known Matt Wilkie since I was in the 8th grade. And what was in my dream? I was just visiting your apartment, which was in a castle. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if you're going to move to a castle or if you live in a castle. 60 plus countries. Amazing. All right, so let me just jump right into these. As I said, would love to hear some comments along the way. Also, would love to hear some spitball ideas about how you like to do your marketing, particularly in the realm of youth ministry. Personally, I've been involved in full-time youth ministry since 2001, and then prior to that, really all my life. What does that say? So Carl can give me a private pilgrimage retreat. I don't know what that means.
I'm not sure either.
I need to read these too because I am going to post it to YouTube later for the people who didn't download the Periscope app. If you haven't, it's super simple. And what you're going to miss if you watch this on YouTube is you're not going to see the comments that scroll along the bottom part of the screen. And so you'll miss out on that. It's kind of a bummer if you miss that because it kind of defeats the whole purpose of Periscope. Because I really like the interactive element of Periscope. It's like attending a class and being allowed to talk the whole time, which is perfect for me. All right, so number one, I wrote this one down. Again, some of these I got from Jeannie Mayo. Carl and I both do Jeannie Mayo's Cadre, which is a professional coaching group for youth ministers. Some of these I got from Jeannie. Some of them I've got from a magazine called Fast Company. And others I just kind of got from just doing this and hearing it from somewhere. Can't remember who. I read a lot. Do you support network marketing is the question. Yeah, network marketing. Yeah, I'm working on one of these talks right now called The 7 Deadly Sins of Marketing. I've heard that expression before, but I didn't catch what the 7 deadly sins were, but I have my own idea on what will crush you as a networker. The 7 deadly sins of networking. Did I say marketing? I meant networking. All right, so the first one is this. Inner circle buy-in. You need to get buy-in from your inner circle. Who are your influencers? Who are the people in your group that are going to bring others along? I know Carl Jeannie calls this the Paul Reveres. And the Paul Revere obviously was an influencer in his community. She tells a story about how Paul Revere, he rides around crying, the British are coming, the British are coming. There were others who were doing the same thing, but nobody wrote down in history about them because Paul Revere was the number one influencer in that particular point in history and in that particular region. So who are your, on my pyramid scheme, it's not for everybody. No, I don't want to talk about pyramid schemes. But who are your inner circle? This is not that. I don't know who that was, but we're not. There's no pyramid scheme here. So inner circle buy-in. Now, if you read, Good to Great or any of the Jim Collins books or any of the other, hey, if your connection is bad, disconnect and connect back in. If you read any of those leadership books, they call this executive level buy-in. You've got to get your executive team on first. That's not really a term I've used much in youth ministry, but inner circle team, of course. There was always an inner circle. Even when there were 10 students in my youth ministry, immediately I began cultivating an inner circle. People who were influencers. Honestly, there were people who availed themselves to me that wanted to build relationship, that wanted to be part of the team, that saw the vision, that saw where we were going. And those are the people you want to get on board with, whatever it is first. You're marketing a back-to-school event. You're marketing an invite night. You're promoting a retreat. You're taking students to district youth convention, and you want more students to go. Start with your inner circle group. Start with again, Jim Collins calls it the executive level buy-in, and other groups, leadership gurus call it different things, but suffice it to say, start with your inner circle. Number 2, explain engagement to your group. Buy-in doesn't always mean money. It's support. Great point, Angela. That's right. We're talking about simply getting on board. People that are going to talk positive about your plan. People that are going to encourage others to join in. In the realm, like I said, if you're trying to get students to invite their friends to church, there's no financial buy-in with that one. It's just a matter of believing in you and believing in your vision. And so working with that inner circle to get them going the same direction you're going. So engagement in your group. Explain how do they get involved. What are they expected to do? So first you start with that inner circle group. You tell them where you're going. You get them excited about it. Then you tell them what you want from them. In the realm of marketing, I always, particularly at church, I always use the invite cards. And I was real sensitive about how I used invite cards. I always told students, don't go shove these in every locker in your high school. You got one of them right there. Yeah, so here's Carl's invite card. The group is called Rage Student Ministry. Is that an acronym?
It was. I got rid of it.
Just not. No, yeah, it just became irrelevant. Exactly. Yeah. I get it. So here's his invite card. It's got all the strategic information on there. Consider yourself invited. Where, when, all the
where, when, how, social media connections, and you're good to go. We have updated versions too with all the social media feeds.
Very cool.
It works. It's amazing how much students love things like that. You give them something to put in their hands. Do you mind if I touch on a few of the things you talked about?
By all means.
Awesome. Looking at the inner circle buy-in, one huge thing, we see this happen all the time in society, is they get celebrities that they get to endorse products. They get people of influence to do this. And if you can find the people of influence within your youth group, within your leadership, within whatever you're trying to accomplish, and you get them to tie into what you're really wanting to do, you now have cores of influence all throughout your group that are going to be doing your work for you. And thinking of that is selling the vision. You got to sell it. Looking at that, what's the purpose of the event? What need does it fill? People don't want to give their time to something that's not really going to have an impact. We hear that all the time. Really, am I going to be effective in this? I hear it from my leaders. If I take part in this, what impact am I going to have? And then also, you had touched on engagement within your group.
Mm-hmm.
With that, one thing that I like to do with my team is to show them the need. What I do with my students is say, this is how you can aid in this. This is how you get involved in this, and we make getting involved easy when it comes to students. For leaders, we just clearly define it, and we do offer them a lot of different ways to connect in that, and it just requires some pre-planning. So if you can think ahead and know there are 15 different ways for a student who doesn't have a whole lot of time to aid in this, it helps so much, because you're not going to be taken back when people ask you, well, I've only got this much or that much time to offer. What can I still do? You already have the answer in your hands then. So a little bit of pre-planning will go a long ways with you. Make sure you get your core people, the Paul Revere's, really to buy into that. Once you can get them on your side, it's a lot easier, because it's not just your voice selling it. It's voices of many core influencers within your circles.
As you were talking, I was reading some of the I was listening, but I was also reading some of the comments there. It looks like some people are having a hard time getting commitment out of their leaders. So that might be a future, one of these that we can do, a future forum that we can do. I will say this about getting your leaders to commit. You have to be committed to doing life with them first. And that's a long-term gain, and it's short-term. It could be long-term sacrifice. Well, it's going to be long-term sacrifice, but it will be long-term gain as well if you play for the long term. If you make that long-term investment, you will get long-term payoff with people getting involved. Because we're talking really largely about volunteer organizations here, because huge things offer transportation. Yeah, that's a great piece of advice. And we'll talk about that one another time as well. In fact, the subject has been brought up. If there's people watching, go ahead and add your comments on getting leaders involved, because there's probably some great thoughts out there that'll help those that are kind of struggling with that. I just saw the comment, it's a marathon, not a sprint. When it comes to when it comes to volunteer organizations, honestly, relationship wins. Scotty Gibbons used to always say to me, ministry flows from relationships, and relationships take time. And that's certainly true. When number 2 was explain engagement to your group. What are they expected to do? And so for Carl, with the invite cards, I think you got to be real clear. I'm expecting you to give these to personal relationships in your life. We don't need anybody handing out flyers. We're not advertising discounted Chinese food. We're not offering somebody a buy one, get one. That's a different kind of marketing. We're going for the relational angle. And so you want to explain that to your students and to your leaders so that they know how to engage with what you're doing. Also, be their friend and mentor. They usually have parents. That's right. Relationary, not transactional. Ooh. I think I know what that means. That's like a whole deep thing. Was that Jason Persinger that said that?
I didn't see
he gave me some really good stuff to think about recently in regard to being a consumer type of leader. And so we don't want to be a consumer leader. We can talk about that another time as well. So number 3, we said number 1 was inner circle buy-in. Number 2, explain what engagement looks like. Like I know Scott Lorraine is doing tomorrow night. He's doing a thing. Is it called? Oh, I can't remember what it's called now. But they're breaking up into teams, and each week they're going to earn points and stuff like that. What was it called? Gladiators, maybe? I'm sorry if Scott's watching. I'm ruining your. Yeah. No, you're cool. You're cool. Somebody said they didn't mean to go deep. No, I would love to go deep. We just don't have all that much time. Gladiators. Yeah. He's doing gladiators, and so. Yeah, everybody knows he's doing gladiators. Make the youth feel important. You'll get so much more from positive encouragement. That's good. It's good stuff. There's Kevin Galuli. Oh, Kevin asked a question earlier. I wrote yours down, Kevin. You asked what if the schedule is tough, and then, which we've talked a little bit about. I think you were talking about leadership schedule. So explain engagement, and then define the win. Number 3 is define the win. What is the win? What's the purpose of your event? What's the purpose of your retreat? What's the purpose of your Wednesday night gathering? If you don't have a purpose, people aren't going to get on board. You need to define what the win is. Is it simply to grow by numerically? You know, sometimes there's a season when that's what you do, and so you do things to grow numerically. Is it? But then you want to be a more mature leader than that. It's to build healthy relationships between the students in your group and their relationship with God. And so you want to define what the win is. Is it new people coming? Maybe your win is something out in the community. Maybe it's not in the 4 walls of the church, which is a great place to be looking. Be pioneers with your leadership team. Take them on the journey. Make them part of the growth. Absolutely. Good stuff. But as you're defining the win, that gives you a definition, a mark to hit for. And then when you hit it, you celebrate it. I'll hit 4 and 5 real quick, Carl, and then I'm going to jump over. I'm just going to let you comment on some of those things that you have over there. Incentive. I think you need to offer incentive to your inner circle team. I think you need to offer incentive to your regulars. I think you need to offer incentive to your leaders. Answer this question every time you ask them to do something. What's in it for them? Is it re-explaining the vision and that they're on a journey with you together? Is it an incentive of seeing this room filled? Is it the incentive of being out in the community and making Christians known for what they do, not for what they don't do? What's the incentive? Is the incentive fulfillment of the vision? There might be something in it personally for them. Maybe you're offering prizes. Maybe you're offering something special if they bring a guest. Maybe you're offering something special just simply for showing up. I know that, like, if you go to a professional sports gathering, if you're a season ticket holder with one of the events, you look at the sports schedule, and like I know Carl and I, we like to go to the Detroit Pistons. I like the Pistons because they're cheap. I like it because it's in the winter, and I have a hard time finding things to do in the winter in Michigan because I don't like being outside in the cold. But every now and then they do what's called a fan night, and on fan night, everybody gets something for free, or the first 5,000 get something for free. Maybe your incentive is something simple and gimmicky like that. Maybe it's something more meaningful, like redefining, re-explaining, re-clarifying the vision. Yeah, they're actually pretty cheap. So incentive, and then number 5 is this: ask for feedback. Ask what worked. Ask what didn't work. Ask what would work better. Anytime you get feedback as a leader, always don't ever forget to validate that feedback. It doesn't mean you're going to do what they say. It doesn't mean you're going to accept the feedback. But man, you value it, particularly if it's from your inner circle, particularly if it's from your leadership team. You can say things like, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I really appreciate that you have an opinion on this. Thank you that this is valuable enough to you that you thought about it and brought this to me. You may not do what they're asking, or it might be something so good that you must do it. And then you need to show it, and then you need to give credit where credit is due. Man, you came up with this idea. We're so thankful that we're going to be able to do this now. So feedback is important. So just real quick, number 1, inner circle buy-in. Number 2, explain engagement. Number 3, define the win. Number 4, offer some incentive, answer the question, what's in it for them? And then number 5 is feedback. What worked, what didn't work? Validate feedback and also use feedback.
Yeah, feedback with students is amazing, because if you can just get them to open up, they're going to tell you what worked with their friends, what worked with their families, what's worked in their interactions, and they're going to be honest. They're sometimes brutally honest. But if you really take that to heart and you listen to what they're saying, you'll find ways to wrap that into your next event. I did want to touch on the incentive one real quick. I really have gotten into this after doing cadre with Jeannie Mayo, so shout out to all the cadre people. She's great at this kind of sense. Is her idea is to make it worth it. And we applied this to a winter retreat that we did last year. What we did is we realized we weren't happy with the attendance that we had of our students from the ratio of how many come to our youth group versus how many attend our retreat. So what we did is we split our entire youth group into basically core groups. We took hey, we know these 3 students are definitely going to go. We know these 4 are a maybe, and we know these 4 are an absolutely never would they ever go. And we assigned each leader a group just like that. So everybody had a core group of students, and we told them the leader who can get the most students to sign up to winter camp gets $100, no strings attached. and they just went crazy with it. So we gave them a vision. We said, run with it, and it helped with our attendance. We actually tripled our attendance from the year before. We've noticed, too, that another incentive could be if you're doing a mission trip, you're doing a camp retreat, something of that nature where there's a cost. If you can get your leadership's cost down low, they're taking time off of work, they're taking time out of their schedules, away from their families, all kinds of different things that are big investments for them. The cheaper you can make that for them, you're going to get a bigger impact out of them because they're realizing how much you value their time, how much you value what they're putting into it. So those are a few examples of just some incentives that we've done. We've also given out free shirts for every student that's signed up with a hashtag on it. And they're a great way for our students in the schools just to be asked questions by their friends. Hey, what's WC 2015 mean? And then they open up about what winter camp was, or the youth group, or what Jesus has done in their life. And so there's multiple ways to kind of wrap those incentives in for students and for leaders. But those are just a few that we've done that have worked very well. So.
Good stuff. Hey, so somebody asked me to email those 5. I'm not going to imply that you're lazy, but write them down. So real quick, inner circle buy-in, explain engagement, define the win, incentive, and then feedback. You're in your car?
In your car. Please
stop typing in your car, Brian. I'm speaking at Brian's youth ministry tonight. I don't want it to be a funeral service, okay, Brian? So be careful. So real quick, I would love to hear yours, but then other people's favorite. Okay. So why can't you write them down? Your favorite marketing tools. I always liked the invite cards because even when I didn't have any kind of budget, our youth use Instagram and hashtags as contests to spread the events. That's so good.
Very smart.
That's good stuff. I'm sorry, Brian. I'll stop picking on you. He told me his app will close if he does that. I get it. You got a whole list there.
Yeah. I got a list, man. It works. So, looking at this, 5 strategies that we've used, they're really simple.
Not making that up. He's got a list.
It's totally organized, not really. But I don't know. I just sit here and I make things start with the same letter. So they're the 5 S's of strategies. So first thing that we've noticed works is swag. Put it on a hat, put it on a shirt, make it easily accessible to your youth group, and they'll be wearing it, they'll be promoting it. It's very, very cheap promotion. Second thing is saturation. You keep it in front of them. Every time you preach, you mention it. You do a video every week. You try to get it in front of them in bulletins and main service announcements, which partners with the next one, social media. You do a hashtag campaign. CustomInk.com is where I get my shirts at, and the more you buy, the cheaper they get. You can get a lot of times free shirts and stuff. It's a really great thing. So
what was it again?
CustomInk.com. They've done a really good job on our shirts.
Awesome.
Another one is MyCoolIcebox.com. They've got a lot of really nice products and everything that you can go from there. So social media. No, my wife's doing a haircut right now. Oh. Not sure. So social media campaigns with hashtags, they're on it all the time. Our group uses Facebook and Instagram a lot, so we mostly target those. Twitter wasn't really a huge thing for our youth, but in other areas, maybe Twitter is the way to go. Whatever is working for your students, you'll know what works for them by what they're on the most.
Somebody's asking a question there. MyCool what?
It's called MyCoolIcebox.com.
MyCoolIcebox.
Yes, they got some really good stuff, and then CustomInk.com. Another thing is sell-offs. We want our leaders really to sell out to the cause of what we're doing, so that's making it a competition. That's going back to the whole incentive idea. And the last thing is to strategize. The more you plan ahead, the easier it's going to get for you. You'll see curveballs coming, and you take the feedback from the year before and you make the next year better. Never be satisfied with the event you have. Always want to really take it to the next level. So strategizing and pre-planning will be your best friend when it comes to any form of promotion.
Get your leadership on a blab away from the church. They will open up a blob. Is that what that maybe was?
Blab. Maybe it's that big inflatable blob
at
summer
Fahola.
Camps. Yeah, Fahola. Take them to Fahola.
I like it.
There we go.
I like it.
We'll go with it.
I mentioned these 2 apps last week, but for your digital media, those who aren't using digital media, you need to. If you're not on social media, you need to be. You didn't mention Snapchat. Are you guys an anti-Snapchat group?
We haven't used it. Most of our students just really haven't got on it. So.
Because that's the one I would say is I'm just kind of my own
blab online
online for people like Periscope. Oh, I don't know
okay.
about
So
Blam.
that's
Well,
what
thank
that
you,
is.
Marshall, for that one. Marshall also threw a bunch of quotes out there if you were paying attention. I tried to get some of them down. One of them was, students would rather be encouraged than criticized.
It's true.
And Jason Buchanan said he's starting cadre.
Awesome.
Oh, I don't want to show him
Hey,
that.
welcome
That's a
on-
cadre.
that's a secret
That's a cadre
thing.
surprise.
We'd have to kill you if you seen that.
Yeah, I don't think they really saw it. But the other app I really like is called Phonto, Phonto. Give free cookies and they will come.
Pizza works
Maybe
too.
Chris Clant, yeah. That's like a page right out of the Doug Fields 1989 youth ministry book. If you have pizza and cookies, they'll show up. Yeah, no, it's a new day. So I really like Phonto. Phonto, you can make what looks like artwork that's been done in Photoshop, but you do it right there on your phone. I really like Faded, same deal. You can make stuff. There's a couple of youth ministries. Yours is one of them that I follow on Instagram that I really like your artwork that I see on Instagram. Matt Ray, Real Student Ministries down in Kalamazoo. And then if you've got a youth ministry that does graphic design and stuff or promotions on your Instagram, will you throw your Instagram name up real quick? Because I'd love to follow you on there as well so I can see what you're doing and help promote it and stuff. So I'm following is it Rage Student Ministries?
Yep.
Yeah. But that's the name on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Carl's is Rage Student Ministries. I will check Blab. That's Marshall saying check Blab out. 4 screens at once, great interaction.
Awesome.
Is that 4 users at once then? That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to move this discussion to Blab sometime.
Yeah.
I'm just looking real quick. I love that you said you had free T-shirts with your campaign on it. I know one youth ministry, Joseph Kellogg down in Texas, his first night of registration for his summer and fall retreats, you get a free T-shirt just for signing up. So that's a cool. You got the incentive, you got the top of the mind awareness, and then you've got advertising out there being worn by your students and by your leaders.
It's a really cheap investment that pays off. So the way we did it is when they signed up for the winter retreat. Yeah, exactly. Early sign up for free shirts. Looks like Marshall commented on that as well. That's exactly what we did. Is we said if you sign up by this date, you get a free shirt. If you sign up after that, you don't get a free shirt, and it costs you $20 more. And so we had a lot of early registration, which helped us in the pre-planning once again. So
I wonder if Keith Grable's watching.
Keith, are you out there?
I don't think he is.
Keith.
I didn't see his name come up. Because you do your winter retreat with Keith.
Yes, yeah, we partner with Christian Celebration Center in Midland. So Keith Grable is a genius when it comes to this stuff. Matt Wasbinski, he I don't know if he's on either. I know he's honeymoon.
I've seen him on here before.
He has a valid excuse if he's not. So.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. I'm going to throw this up on YouTube if you missed anything. And then also, if you are a youth leader in the state of Michigan, join us on Michigan. It's a Facebook group. What's it called?
Michigan Youth Ministries?
The Michigan Youth Leaders Network.
We can look it up.
I think that's right. I think I got it. Well, either way, it's 4:30. Youth big in our area, Texas, Hope Fellowship. Yeah. You people are, thanks, Jason. You're awesome. I want to do this with Jason. So I want to do this with different youth pastors every time. I was with Kevin Galugli last week, and I didn't have Kevin on camera, and I wish I would have. So, Kevin, I'm sorry. All right. Catch you guys later. Thanks for checking things out. Go Kensington. Is that, I don't know what that is. Is that UK football?
It may be.
It might be. I don't know.